Welcome to my first ever YouTube video. Congrats, you just witnessed the birth of my channel. So I've always really been into sci-fi and building things, so I had an idea for a series where I would build something and also explain what it is, like the backstory. And I decided to call this Engineer and Explain. For this episode, I'm going to be talking about the Ultimate Nullifier, which is arguably the most powerful weapon in the entire Marvel universe. So the Ultimate Nullifier is basically a small silver device that relies on the concentration of the user and also how much knowledge they have. This device has the ability to completely destroy any target, like wipe it from existence, including entire galaxies and timelines. If the user doesn't have a mind powerful enough to handle the power, it will destroy them as well. So the Ultimate Nullifier has often appeared in different ways based on the artist of the comic. For example, it's appeared looking like this, and also like this. I thought this design was the best, so that's the one that I'm going to be making. And I'm going to be using Inventor for that, as you can see. And then I'm going to 3D print it and paint it. So back to the actual Nullifier itself. The first ever appearance of the Nullifier was in Fantastic Four, Volume 1, issue number 48. In it, this was actually the debut of Silver Surfer in the comics, the first ever appearance of him, and he was introduced as a servant of Galactus, which is the planet-eating cosmic entity that you probably already know about. Also appearing in this comic book is the Watcher, who is the being who records and watches the history of the cosmos, focusing specifically on the Earth. So this comic book finds us with the Fantastic Four, and the Silver Surfer comes to Earth and signals to Galactus, whose plan is to devour the Earth. The Watcher then decides to get involved in this in order to prevent this from happening, and he tells Johnny Storm to go to Galactus's ship and retrieve the Ultimate Nullifier, which he believes is the only thing that can stop Galactus. And it had to be Johnny because he was the only one that could fly. So Johnny flew throughout the universe to find the Galactus' ship and the Nullifier, and when he came back, he reported what he had seen, which was absolutely mind-blowing to him, because the humans really hadn't had much contact with the outside world. But besides that, he gave the Nullifier to Mr. Fantastic, who threatened Galactus with it, and Galactus was absolutely terrified because this can destroy anything. So he agreed to leave the Earth in exchange for the Ultimate Nullifier back. Until recently, it's been a bit of a mystery as to where the Ultimate Nullifier actually came from, like who created it. But in June of 2022, in Fantastic Four Volume 6, issue number 44, it was revealed what the actual origin is. So this issue contained the final battle of the Reckoning War, which was a war between alien warlords called the Reckoning and the Watchers, who were aided by the Fantastic Four. So the Earth's Watcher, his name is UA2, and there are others, one of which is Imnu. And in this issue, it was revealed that many, many years ago, during the Watcher's first conflict with the Reckoning, he was the one who actually crafted the Ultimate Nullifier to end the war. And in the process, he ended up destroying 9/10 of the universe, which kind of gives you an idea of how powerful this thing is. So, the Ultimate Nullifier has appeared in several comic series other than the Fantastic Four, one of which was the What If series, Volume 1, issue number 32. In that issue, the plot was that Korvac had control over the Avengers, and he sends Captain America to retrieve the Ultimate Nullifier, and once he has it, he's confronted by the Watcher, and one thing leads to another, and he ends up destroying the entire universe. Another example of the Ultimate Nullifier's appearance is in Quasar, Volume 1, issue number 39. In it, Quasar, who is a Marvel protagonist, is given the Ultimate Nullifier by Thanos and is challenged to use it on Magus, who is a major villain in the series. So, Quasar spends time trying to study the Nullifier, and he eventually ends up pointing it at Magus's fortress and destroys himself. Interestingly, this comic book actually took place during the Infinity War series, so it was kind of a bit of a crossover. In the Quasar comic issue, it kind of seemed like he just didn't know what he was doing and ended up destroying himself. But in Infinity War issue number 5, it was revealed that Magus actually used the Infinity Gauntlet to make Quasar nullify himself, which was pretty interesting. One of my favorite appearances of the Ultimate Nullifier is in the Justice League and Avengers crossover. So in that crossover, it was kind of a game for them to find the most powerful weapons from each other's universe, and the Justice League was the first to find a weapon, which was the Ultimate Nullifier, and they found that on Monster Island. So once the Justice League had the Ultimate Nullifier, Martian Manhunter decided to probe it with his mind. That ended up being a big mistake because the sheer amount of power that it has was too much for his mind to handle. So, another major appearance, which is actually the appearance that shows the art style that I'm using for my nullifier, is in the Nova Volume 5 series. In Volume 5, Nova, or Sam Alexander, was given the helmet of his father, Jesse Alexander, who was the former Nova. In issue number 4, Sam Alexander ends up on a ship with Titus, who used to be friends with his father. So, right as he enters, it's pretty clear that he's no longer an ally of the Nova Corps, and a flashback reveals that he gave up secrets of the Nova Corps in order to live because his life was being threatened by the Chitauri. One of these secrets was the Ultimate Nullifier. Nova ends up stealing it from the ship, and in the next issue, number 5, they have a big battle in space, and eventually it was accidentally activated, which destroyed Titus and the Chitauri ship. Nova then decided that the power was too much for him to handle, so he handed it over to the Watcher, who had previously been sort of a mentor to him. These are just some of the examples of the comic books where the Ultimate Nullifier appeared. There were also other comic series like Old Man Quill, Galacta, Daughter of Galactus, Doctor Doom, and several other Fantastic Four issues. In fact, it even appeared in Season 1, Episode 14 of the Ultimate Spider-Man series.
Blah, yourself, blah. Too tiny.
And Episode 2 of the MODOK TV series. It still has never appeared in the live action, but hopefully it might appear or be referenced in the upcoming Fantastic Four movie. Alright, I don't have anything else to say, so enjoy these videos of monkeys while I finish making this thing. So here it is, the finished product from Inventor. Um, Again, I used the specific design that was shown in the Nova comic series because I liked it the best. So here's the 3D model. After I made the 3D model in Inventor, I went ahead and put it into Cura and resized it because I kind of have a small 3D printer. So after doing all of the resizing, I just added the supports and then I put it on the 3D printer, and this was the result. So here is the result right off of the 3D printer. Um, you can see that all of the details came out pretty well. All I had to do was take off the supports and add a little bit of silver spray paint, and here is the final result. I was actually pretty happy with the way this came out. I think it looks pretty accurate to the comics, other than this side. The reason this happened is because the supports were pretty stuck on, so it left some marks on the bottom. But ignoring that, the rest of it looks pretty nice. It doesn't work, obviously, but I think it is a pretty accurate representation of the general shape and pattern from the Nova series. Thank you so much for watching this video, I really appreciate it. Let me know in the comments what you thought and if you have any ideas for future projects.